Fox, and the commentators would come in between everything. So I ended up watching it on C-SPAN, at least here.
Okay.
CNN Plus did.
All right, so I didn't watch everything. I intended last night to go back and watch couple of the talk. I wanted to go back and watch Vance.
Yeah, Ben Carson was there.
I did see Ben Carson. But I saw enough, Ray. I want to know that there were several of the speakers who gave a clear.
This is worth interrupting.
Interrupt me?
This is worth
Okay, but just remember, I don't ever interrupt anybody. I would cite the same
That has
respect.
never happened.
So, but if you want to interrupt me, Wesley, let's see what you got.
Okay, I've read it 3 times, and then I read it a 4th time. Charlie Kirk Memorial, this is New York Post.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk Memorial drew around 20 million cable TV and online viewers. And if you separate and you just do online viewers such as YouTube and X, that was around 7.5 million.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it because
Steve found that for us.
It was the news story of the day, and everybody heard about it.
Back to your point.
But yeah, back to my point about there were several of the speakers who gave a clear message about God and Jesus Christ. And so the gospel message, as we call it in Christian speak, Marco Rubio did. I heard him. Frank Turek, our own friend and colleague, Frank Turek, who hopefully will be on with us tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see. Because Frank, we played it yesterday. Frank was in the car. Frank was with Charlie Kirk in Salt Lake. At the Utah University where Charlie Kirk was assassinated at Charlie's invitation because he wanted Frank to go with him. Frank was tossing out caps with Charlie before before Charlie sat down, and then we know what happened after that. But Frank, and Pete Hegseth did too, the Secretary of War. They don't call it Secretary of Defense anymore. It's the Secretary of War. It's the War Department, right? I think they changed it.
I think Congress has to actually make a change.
Well, whichever one you call it, he's Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War. And Ben Carson, too. I heard him talk. Ben Carson. So, now, and I heard Erica Kirk. So, I'm just saying, I want to go back and watch Vance. Did you see Vance, Ray?
Yeah, I did. And I thought he did a really fine job. I mean, the part about JD that I really liked, he said, I've talked about my faith in Jesus more in the last 10 days than in the whole rest of my life, which I think I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, he said, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Since we're interrupting.
Go right ahead.
He said, I generally don't talk about my faith. It's a private thing. He's Catholic, I believe.
Yeah.
But I have talked, this is the occasion. If I'm ever going to do it, this is the occasion.
So is Marco Rubio's Catholic, and he's just preaching like Billy Graham up there. It's pretty amazing. Right.
I listened to Ben Shapiro's broadcast. Ben is Jewish. He's an Orthodox Jew.
Right.
And he will say often on his podcast, I've heard him say it several times, I'm a Jew. I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in what Christians believe about Jesus. But if Christians are going to bring people to church, it's going to make our country better. So he's all in favor of Christians because there's a lot of them in this country going to church. But he played Marco Rubio on his podcast. Wow. So the gospel
went over
message.
The Jewish Guys podcast?
The Jewish Guys podcast.
About a Jew from 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it was, I know there was some stuff on there. You had a 4 to 6 hour memorial, right?
Very long.
There was some stuff on there. You're not going to agree with everything everybody says when you have one speaker after another or the style in which they do it. I didn't care for the fireworks, going off. And I think President Trump, God bless him, he just, he doesn't fit in that kind of environment. He's focused on the day's events of politics, and so it's hard for him to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know.
That's not his wheelhouse, okay?
Yeah.
But
he was clear about Charlie's Christian faith.
He was, and to his credit, he sat there for 4 hours.
Right.
The the President of the United States sat at somebody's memorial service for 4 hours, I think. So give him credit for that, for being there. And also, President Trump has a very friendly relationship with the evangelical and the conservative Catholic movement in America.
He and Charlie were good friends. Charlie would
Yes.
call him, and he said, Charlie would call me and ask me to come out in 24 hours notice. And he said, Charlie, I'm the President of the United States. I don't do a good Trump.
Sure.
I've got better. He says, off, and I would just drop everything and do it.
So anyway, I was reflecting. I wanted to know, you said how many people are said to have watched this?
20 million.
20 million. No, that's like I said, that's combining everything.
Yeah, social media and the television.
Yeah. I don't know why I say that like it changes the impact.
Right, well,
20 million is 20
we
million.
used to not have the internet. The internet, it was just been television only. But anyway.
Well, and there's no way, Wesley, to know how many more have watched or heard
Since then. That's true.
Since then, right? That's got to be many millions more. Since this, we're 2 days later. Look, we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
It was a turning point. It was a moment.
Yeah.
It was a moment in American history. People say, do you believe this is revival? Well, the answer to that question is always time will tell. But if revival comes, Sunday was a good step in that direction.
All right, Steve, next story.
Let me just put a period on this to say that Turning Point USA has announced that they're going to finish the tour that Charlie was doing. You can go to Turning Point USA and see they're going to be University of Minnesota, Virginia Tech, Utah State, Montana State, University of North Dakota, University of Oklahoma, Indiana University, Bloomington, Louisiana State, Ole Miss, Auburn, and Berkeley.
Who's at that Berkeley one? I know the answer.
That's going to be Frank Turek and Rob Schneider. So,
Yeah.
but they have, for the most part, they have different people filling in. But
Good for them.
They're going to continue on with that. Yesterday, we previewed this a little bit during our show yesterday, but yesterday afternoon, Donald Trump brought his medical experts out and stood in front of a microphone and said the following, cut 4.
Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol, for this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary.
I'd like to split the conversation real quick up into
Are you a doctor?
I am not. And this is
No, don't
that's
do
my
that.
second point. That's my second point.
I don't have to be a doctor and everything.
There are many doctors, there's many medical people that are pushing back against the medical claim that acetaminophen, let's not forget the brand names, acetaminophen during pregnancy it helps increase autism. They came out with their own studies that said that it does. So that's an open question in my mind. And if they are grabbing some kind of a breakthrough on the cause of autism and maybe a potential lessening of those numbers, it is a historic breakthrough. That is separate from what I saw on TV yesterday, which is you just heard Donald Trump be a doctor to the country, and all the doctors standing right behind him. So
Should he have been the one to talk about that, though?
no, I think it was a political. I think it was a self-inflicted wound.
How so?
You bring your medical team out if you stand by this and you say, this is Dr. Mehmet Oz, and we found that autism and acetaminophen are linked. Dr. Oz, would you tell us the details?
He didn't do that?
No, he has to take credit for everything. I think
Trump?
I think his ego got the best of
Are
him.
you doing it the same?
I might. Yeah, I know. It's just shock.
When did this start?
It just started at the UN today.
Yeah, right. Listen, I call it good Trump, bad Trump. With President Trump, here's how it is. Especially for people who support him, it's, man, that's great. That's good, man. Wow, man, you're bold. And then the next day you go, what in the world?
Right.
What did he just say? So that, you take the good with the bad. There's very little bad. Most of it's good. from
From a policy standpoint.
from a policy and conservative point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah,
From a behavior standpoint.
during COVID, you know, he couldn't help himself. I was going like, okay, you gave Vice President Pence the job of leading the COVID panel, and every day you walk in and take over his press conference. Huh?
He did do that.
I'm talking about Trump. You remember that?
Yeah.
I'm going like, dude.
Yeah.
And that hurt him too. That hurt him among the public because people wanted to hear from Vice President Pence and whoever else he had on his panel there. They didn't want to have so President Trump has that, I call it a weakness, but sometimes to talk about things when he needs to let somebody else talk for him.
Right.
Okay.
Right, sure.
And this is you're saying, Steve, that was your opinion of what happened yesterday.
I had to stop watching it. It bothered me.
Mhm.
Oh, it triggered you.
I am a Second Amendment.
Okay,
But it
listen,
triggered me.
I don't know. We don't know what President Trump did yesterday that Steve's talking about. You heard him. He said Tylenol. I was surprised. That's a brand name, right? I mean, that's a company. Are they going to sue him?
But yes, to my knowledge, it is a brand name, but it's also
Well, he's talking about the contents of Tylenol.
right.
Okay, that's what I thought he would refer to instead of just talking about Tylenol, because that way you kind of avoid a potential lawsuit because Tylenol stock tanked yesterday.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Huh? When President Trump talked about this. So, again, I don't know enough. He cited studies. President Trump said we have studies to suggest
Yeah, he.
Tylenol, taking Tylenol while you're pregnant with a baby can cause autism. That's what his point was, right?
And he did have his physicians speak after him,
He
but
did.
it was well after him. Yeah.
He did. Which physicians?
Mehmet Oz, the CMS administrator, who's a medical doctor, spoke. Dr. Martin McCary.
Did Kennedy speak?
Kennedy might have spoken, but not. He did talk, but not in the context of being a medical doctor, which he's not.
Well, there's some reason for autism exploding, and we don't know exactly why it is. That's what Robert F. Kennedy's trying to get.
Some are more convicted about why it is than others. I mean, I have heard some people that are very passionate about, and they have their studies to prove that it has to do
the vaccines. Yeah, I had a neighbor. Again, this is anecdotal. This is not scientific. But I had a neighbor. This is 15 years ago, and his son, he had like 4 children, and one of them had autism. And he said he was convinced after all his research that it was the getting so many vaccines in such a short period of time that contributed to the autism. Now, I'm just telling you that. I can't prove that, and he couldn't prove it. That was just his educated research of some, and he didn't care what the reason was. He just wanted to get to the bottom of it. He didn't have a political agenda on this issue. But and you've heard it. A lot of people are very concerned about giving children all these vaccines, especially like together for one shot. All right, Ray, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim.
I think Wesley, thank you.
Yep.
Steve, appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And Brent Creeley, our producer, want to thank him. And Chris Woodward, all 5, 6, 7 of him. Is that what he said he is?
6.
5, 6? Okay. Shailene was on with us.
Shaylee.
From Love Life, Alabama. What a wonderful lady. Shared her testimony with us. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day.
Hey, my name is Wesley Wildman.
And I'm Walker Wildman.
And we're brothers, and our family have been leading tours to the land of the Bible for more than 30 years.
Coming up in March of 2026, we would love for you to join us for something very special, a Footsteps of Paul tour, a journey through Greece.
We'll walk exactly where the Apostle Paul walked, through Athens, ancient Corinth, Philippi, and Thessalonica.
You'll enjoy unforgettable experiences and meaningful fellowship with believers and with Wesley and Walker.
And we'll eat well, laugh a lot, and yes, eat well again, and most importantly, we will grow in our faith as the Bible comes alive before your eyes. You'll get to see the very things that we read about or that your pastor talks about in church.
The Footsteps of Paul Tour is March 17th to the 24th, 2026.
Register today at wildmangroup.com.
That's wildmangroup.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Hey, I'm Brant, and her name is Sherry.
Hello.
She's a friend of mine who we were just praying for because of a surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is
Medishare.
that is right.
Yeah. So, what was your experience like with Medishare and the healthcare bills?
Honestly, Brant, seamless, and what a blessing that is when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in with your need, that is just
It's refreshing.
Yes, that's what it is.
What I keep telling people love Medishare, and they love saving tons of money too. The typical family can save $500 a month.
I am very thankful for Medishare. It is so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way.
It is good different. Call now. They're easy to talk to, and you can get a price within 2 minutes. Call 833-44-BIBLE. That's 833-44-BIBLE. 833-44-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Jan Harper.
And I'm Bert.
If you're a pastor's wife, you know both the blessings and the unique challenges that come with the life you and your husband live daily. We call it living in the fishbowl.
The 2025 AFA Pastors and Wives Fishbowl Retreat is set for October 28th through the 30th, and it's filling up quickly. Once again, Brother Bert Harper, AFA Director of Family and Pastoral Ministries, will host the retreat.